Good morning. It is me again. And I have awakened this morning and I have a wonderful, edifying message to you this morning. I know that my messages may seem like it's not gearing you towards helping you to reach your goals, but I promise you that it is, because we have to understand that everything is utilized and used to build us and to make us and mold us into who we are, so we can realize who we are, so we can do what we need to do and be who we need to become, and ultimately fulfill our goals. This morning I wanted to talk to you about the haters, the secret haters, the haters that act like they like you but they really don't like you. And I talked about it a little bit in my last video. We have to be careful, because some of our haters look like us. Some of our haters, they smile in your face. You say, smiling faces, honey child. We got to be careful. I was raised in a household that I was always taught to love my brethren, love my sisterin. When I'm talking about my brethren, I'm talking about this. And my sisterin, I'm talking about this. That I am supposed to love my people, my community, love my community. My father and my mother were very community oriented. My father, Raymond Henderson, everybody knew him. His name was Butch. He was the president of the NAACP. He was power to the people, uprise. Even he was blind and marching. He believed in fighting for community. He believed in fighting for rights. He believed in fighting for his people. He believed in fighting for equal rights for everybody. And he believed in patronizing his people, his community. He did. And that was something that has been totally ingrained in me. But sometimes we have to call a spade a spade. We have to call a spade a spade. And the reason why I believe that we cannot grow as a community is because we are like crabs in a bucket. Crabs in a bucket. We see a crab climbing out, and that crab will reach up and grab the other crab down. You see the crab going up again, and you grab the other crab down. Instead of allowing the other crab to climb on top of the other crab for the other crab to get out, or using the other crab to climb up, or allow another crab to climb on top of that crab in order to allow another crab to get out. And when you see another person of this color, moving and growing and utilizing their gifts and their talents to get ahead, instead of supporting them, it seems like they're supporting you. They're smiling in your face. Yeah, go girl, you're doing it, or whatever. Or they're acting like they're your friend. But in actuality, they're behind your back and they're talking about you. And they're maligning your name. And then somebody will come back and they'll tell you, so-and-so said this, so-and-so said that, or so-and-so said this. Or you're supporting them and you're buying their product. And you're going to their grand opening. But guess what? They never buy your product. They've never been to your grand opening. They never really support you, but you always support them. But they never support you. Peep that. Peep that. Peep that. Are they really supporting it? Are they really supporting it? And my answer to that is no. Because if I'm going to your grand opening, if I'm taking the time out to buy your book, in which I've bought books from people, I have, and I've several books from people that I've known that's written books. Even if I have not read them, I've bought them and I put them on my shelf because guess what, sister, brother, I want you to grow. I've bought perfume or whatever, bracelets or whatever, a shirt or whatever. Sister, brother, guess what? Because I want you to grow. I want you to prosper. Even if I've only gone to your restaurant one time, I've patronized you. Because guess what? Sister, brother, I want you to grow. I want you to grow. I want to give you my black dollar. I want to do that. Because that's the reason why we do not grow in the African American community. Our dollars do not circulate in our community because we do not support one another. We can't build another Black Wall Street. Why? Because we do not support one another. We don't support one another. Because in actuality, we do not want to see one another grow. We don't want to see one another grow. Because we're too busy jing, 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 and behind one another's back. Because we're too busy despising one another. We can't uplift one another. But on Facebook we say, oh, Black Lives Matter, or oh, Black entrepreneurs support one another, and this and that. But we can't walk through each other's doors. We can't. We can't even share each other's information or share information on one another's page because we don't want your information to come across my page because you may take my business away from me. I don't get it. Now, granted, there's some products that I just simply have not bought, just simply because this is out of my price range. But guess what I have done? I've shared it. I've shared your page information. I've shared it on my page. I've passed your information along. Because guess what, brother, sister? I want you to grow. I want you to grow. But I do not go and I do not malign your name. I do not go here and say, oh, your prices is just too high. No, your sunglasses, it just costs too much money. And no, girl, her prices, I would never do that to you. That's not up to me. I keep my mouth shut. And if I think your prices are too high, I keep my mouth shut. That's my personal opinion. I keep it shut because what might be too high for me might be just right for somebody else. I let someone else make their mind up as to what's too high or too low or whatever. Let them make their mind up as to what they will purchase for somebody else. That's the one thing that I cannot stand. I can't stand it. How can we cannot just support one another? Just support one another. And then once we support one another, we have to make sure that our products are on point. Are consistent. One minute I go into your restaurant, your food is excellent. Next minute I go into your restaurant, the food is ugh. Be consistent. That's all I ask. Be consistent. Be consistent. A restaurant, this happened years ago. I went to a restaurant and I said, oh, I want to patronize her. Went in there a couple times and it was just a little soul food place. And I went in there to go, that's when my kids were young. And I went in there and the chicken the first time, it was okay. You know, and I just wanted to pick my kids up a couple pieces of chicken and you know, whatever else she had up in there. And gave it to them. It was all right. Second time I went in there, it was all right. Third time I went in there, her standards kept getting lower and lower. She had it fried underneath a plate on the thing, on the stove, warming, so that means it lost its crispiness, and I'm not paying for that. When I could get that at home. So because her service just kept getting lower and lower, finally I stopped going in there. So she stopped me on the street and she said, "Well, I don't understand how come people are not coming into my restaurant anymore." And then I turned and I looked at her and I said, "Because you lost your standards. You lost your standards, and I can get that at home. If I want cold chicken from out of a refrigerator, I can get that at home. I'm sorry, your business is not sustaining itself." And I turned away and I walked away and said, "Sister, I patronized you 3 times. I'm sorry." We have to keep our standards. If we want people to continue to patronize us, then we have to keep our standards. We have to keep our standards. But that's off subject. Now back to subject. We have to watch the smiling faces. People who say that they are for you, but they are not for you. Watch the signs. Watch the signs of people who say they're for you, but behind your back, they're maligning your name. They're talking about you. They're talking about your product. And not that your product is bad. My product is not bad. Not that your product is bad. But every time they get an opportunity to, there they go. Oh, she thinks she this, she thinks she that. Every time they get opportunity, or you notice that everywhere they go, they're sowing discord. You're in the room with them, they're talking about somebody else to you. And I'm like, oh, okay. I thought that was your girl. But every time you turn around and then someone come back and say, oh, she said, and I was like, oh, okay. But be careful. Be careful about the smiling faces. Because they could be very deceitful. Very deceitful. They say they support you, but they don't buy nothing from you. You go and you support them. Help them. Buying product off of them. Encouraging them. But they never once, I was just sitting there thinking. I was like, not one time has this person ever encouraged me in my business. Not one time. I've mentioned, I do this, that, and this. Not one time have they asked me, how's your business going? Not one time have they purchased anything from none of my businesses. Not one time have they ever supported me, not one time. And I have supported them, I have patronized them, I have encouraged them, and not one time have they ever. But smiling faces, and the word got back to me. Tap, 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 tap. Rose, open up your eyes. Smiling faces. Honey, they do not support you. What don't you get? Discernment. Understand, everybody is not for you. Everybody is not for you, Rose. And guess what? Everybody is not for you. People will try to destroy your business from the outside looking in, but still trying to wiggle their way in to see what you are doing. And I've noticed that they started doing some of the same things that I'm doing. Getting information to start the same things that you're doing at the same time. But honey, I ain't worried about that, because can't nobody take nothing that I believe that God has given to you. I don't believe that thievery. Honey, you can do the same thing and still don't get the same outcome. You can do what you're doing. You can do what you're doing and still don't get the same outcome. It's all good. Honey, do what you do. Do what you do. But you still can't do it like me. It's all good. I'm all right with it. I'm all right with it. But, bros, keep your eyes open. Everybody's not for you. Everybody's not for you. And when you're starting, like, remember what I told you? You can't take everybody with you, and you can't bring everybody into your inner circle. You can't. You can't. Because you don't know who's trying, a bug. You don't know the enemy is always trying to sneak in. And remember I told you, you always got to be swatting. Bop, bop, always got to be deflecting. Boop, boop. What is the 5 F's? Faith, the first one. Faith. Gotta always, I'm always being prayed up. He's always revealing something to me. Always revealing something to me. Everybody is not always in your corner. Always remember that. And even in your inner circle, watch your inner circle. Watch your inner circle. Watch. Watch. Watch who's supporting you. Watch who's causing discord. Watch who's saying what about what and who. Watch, because they can tear your business up from the inside out. Tear it up. Tear it up. They can tear it up. And at the same time, because a lot of sometimes some people want to reproduce what you've already tried, what you're already doing. And they will tear you up so they can build themselves up. So please, as you pursue your goals, watch who you're telling whatever to. Watch your inner circle. Watch the smiling faces. Watch. And it's okay to have a small little inner circle. It's okay. And when you finally figure out someone's going like this to you, cut them loose, snip, snip, and before you know it, it's all right. Every day you can see them and be like smiling at them. Hey, good morning. But cut them loose, snip. I got you. But our relationship has changed. And they don't even have to know that it's even changed. But believe you and me, my relationship with you has changed. So, smiling faces, watch them, jing, jing, jings. So, loving and living a good life. Lesson learned, and I just taught you another good lesson in life. Hey! Have a wonderful day. Love living your life. Love my melon. Love yours. Have a wonderful day.